Good morning. Hi. Hey. Hello. How are you? I'm good. Ish. Welcome to Periwinkle Palace Arts. I'm Princess Bun Bun, and I'm here with my Bun Buns, or my Bunnies, however you want to say it. And we do art here. And I'm glad you clicked here. So, hi, good morning. This is our AM daily art session where I just sit here and do art and I talk to you. So, let's get started. Okay, I already started a little bit without you. I'll explain in a moment. But first, let's meet our Bun Buns. Everyone knows Maya. Maya is the fibromyalgia bunny. And she's my bestie. The bestie of the Bun Buns. I'm watching my dog out of the corner of my eye try to get her blanket up onto the couch. It's mostly hanging off the couch. And I think she's going to do it this time, so I'm rooting for her, but I'm trying not to distract her by saying her name. Oh no. No! It fell completely. Okay, 1 second. I get it. But only because it came all the way off the couch. Sorry about that. I felt a little bad for her. She tried so hard. Anyway, so Maya is the first one I got. And she's my bestie. And the big sis to the other bunnies in my family. And she sits under the desk. Not under the desk. She sits on the desk under my laptop. Okay, who else do we have today? Today we have another member of the Fear Response collection. This is the Freeze Bun. We've got like this abominable, I can't say that word. I've never been able to say that word. The abominable snowman. Kind of like fluffiness on his tum-tum. And we've got this alchemical symbol in his ears. And this is another one. And I don't know what they mean. I really am going to look these things up for you guys so I can read them to you. But I'm just trying to get used to the whole streaming thing in the first place. This is Shivers. He's my good friend. And he's so soft. Let's put you over here in the Bun Bun cup holder. You haven't been out in a while, huh? He's so sweet. And this is Patches. Patches is the psoriasis bun. And psoriasis is a lot of things. It's not just like, oh, you're broken out. No. It's an autoimmune disorder. And it affects everything, every part of your body. Some people only have it in a small area. Some people only have one type of psoriasis. I have all the types, and they're all over my body. And I also have psoriatic arthritis. So that's what this bun's all about. I love her face. I don't really know why her face is like that. I do know that the lace is there to represent the itchiness of clothes. And then she's got lace on her paws to represent how the hands and feet are really badly affected usually, and also the joint pain. And she has like blood droplets in her ears and blood droplets on the outside of her ears. And yeah, an alchemical symbol. And I don't remember what that one's for either right now. I feel bad. Okay. Anyway, say hi to Patches. Okay, you guys ready? Me neither. So here's the deal. I've noticed over the past week or so that my hands are really unsteady. So I've started doing one of these. These help me warm my hands up in the morning and get them kind of flexing and less shaky. But I also find that I do grab these spirals to work on whenever I'm not at my best. So what do I mean by that? You ever wake up in the morning and you're mad, irritated, just generally not feeling it, and you have no idea why? That's the key point here. I'm in that kind of mood, and I don't know why. There's no reason for it. And I'm sitting here, and I'm just trying to change my perspective on things. And I showed up. That's the rule. Show up, right? So I'm just going to do this for a little bit. All I'm doing is I've outlined the lines, and I'm using a 005 Pigra Micron fine liner in pink. I think it's actually called Rose. Does it say? No, not really. It doesn't say. So that's how I outline it, and then I come back with this one. It's a 05 in the same color to fill in the lines. I don't always do them like this. As a matter of fact, the way I do these are pretty random. But the idea is I don't know what I'm coloring. As a matter of fact, I pulled most of my spiroglyphs out of their books and mixed them together. So when I grab one, it's usually just completely random. And I really don't have any idea what this image is. It's kind of like a surprise. Some of them are more detailed than others. Some of them have thicker lines. Some of them have thin lines. This one has hyper thin lines. And it just varies by the books that you get. I have probably, I wouldn't say I have more than 10, but I have them in different shapes and sizes. There's some square ones. I have some from Disney. Okay, I think I only have one from Disney, actually. It's a villain's book. And this just helps me, like I said, steady my hands a little bit. I could have used doing this yesterday morning first thing, before I tried to color around all the little tiny sequiny things on the dress. That would have been nice, but I didn't do that. I didn't think about it. Yeah, sometimes I just wake up and I'm like in a bad mood for no reason, and I wonder sometimes, well, did I dream something that made me mad? Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever gotten mad about something in a dream and then woken up and still been mad about it even though it didn't really happen? I have. All right. So, sometime during this live, you'll probably see me singing and humming and doing a little dance, wiggle around a little bit. That's because I love music. I love music so much that I kind of can't function without it. So, I have music playing in my headphone in my ear. And because I can't play the music just in the background and let you guys hear it too, I decided that I would create a little screen share of my Spotify mini player that's on my screen and put it on the screen to share with you. So if you're wondering what, I did that really good this time. If you're wondering what I'm listening to, it's right there in that little box. My tooth still hurts. The antibiotics have knocked the pain back down to an almost tolerable level. So I'm talking a little bit better. And I can eat and drink as long as I don't touch that side of my mouth with any food or liquid. I'm okay. As soon as I touch it with something, even my tongue, like, it hurts a lot. So yeah, I'm just trying to manage this until it can be taken care of, you know. And I'm sure that when I actually go and get this surgery done, I will be offline for at least a few days, but I'm gonna try to come back as soon as possible. Because I have this thing where, like, I always record my day. I always do. Mostly I'm just trying to record my art. But if I don't turn the camera on in the morning, I will completely forget to record anything. So I just turn my camera on as soon as I get out here every day. And I record all day. And then when I'm done for the day, I turn everything off. So I have all these videos, years of videos. But basically, I'm just doing the same thing I do every day. I'm sitting here doing art, and I'm talking to myself and my bunnies while I do art. But I kind of wanted to share just how art helps me, and you know, kind of like my whole life changed when I discovered that I was a creative person. And while it did not, you know, stop me from being disabled or, you know, change anything specific in my life, I think it changed me. And it changed how I approach life. And I never realized that I was an artist. I didn't have time for that kind of stuff. The kind of art that I did was, okay, this is a project my kid needs me to help create, or this is a problem that I need to solve, or I need to make these things for Teachers Appreciation Day. And it was basically, I'm just always doing little DIY projects, and but they weren't like purely for the purpose of doing art. And so to my mind, that made me not an artist. I'm just a mom. Right? So I didn't realize that I was kind of like inherently creative until quite late in my life. Quite recently, in terms of how long I've been alive. I thought that was funny. You probably didn't. As a child, I drew. I did engage in a lot of musical activities. I think looking back that I was born a creative, and I didn't have anyone to, I don't know, encourage that or acknowledge it. And in fact, if I did something creative, it was usually downplayed. I remember a few specific instances in my childhood where I was really discouraged by the adults in my life in various ways when it came to creativity. Most of my life I thought, oh, well, I'm a pretty good writer, and I put all of my creative works into that. And then I guess I became a mom. I had a mom job. I had a real job. I was in school. I was doing all the things. And then when I couldn't do those things anymore, I kind of fell apart for years. And I I was very much a person who attached my value as a person to my what I was doing, what I could do, what I could provide others. Art, just for the sake of art, we do not have the time or space or energy for that. That's how I used to think about it. And eventually, I kind of accidentally stumbled my way into creativity. It was absolutely, again, a thing that I was doing for a kid, for one of my kids. But it led me in a direction that I never ever expected to go. And I'm thinking probably since then, I've been working towards, you know what we forgot? This thing fell on the floor and I forgot to pick them up. Bunny ears. We need bunny ears. Why do I wear bunny ears when I do art? One, because I'm obsessed with bunnies. And two, I feel like when I put bunny ears or princess crown on my head, it centers me and reminds me that I'm here to be playful and creative. So, bunny ears. Also, sometimes it hides when my hair is being weird. And coffee. If you don't have your coffee, go get your coffee. Anyway, so I stumbled myself into a creative project. Of course, I also tried to make that creative project a business. And for various reasons, I ended up not continuing with that business venture. I still do that craft, or art, I guess, but I just stopped doing it as a business. And then I flopped around for a little while, even there. I think I became really focused on making my house clean, and since I couldn't be a working wife and a working mom, becoming a housewife and a house mom, and honestly, that didn't really work out. I was trying to do everything in my life in a traditional way. Like, I couldn't bring myself to a place where I believed that doing anything for myself had any value beyond making sure that I lived and survived so that I would still be here for the people who needed me. Everything I did was about other people. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong for doing for other people. I'm not saying that there is. I would never say that. Kindness, empathy, compassion are key values, core values in my life. However, I was putting everything I had into everyone else, and I was leaving myself with nothing. And it broke me. It broke me physically, it broke me mentally, it broke me emotionally, and without a job, without an income, without being able to keep a perfect house and make sure my children were always, perfect little kids, I fell apart. I did not have anything in my mind to offer the world. And so I started to believe that I was literally just a waste of air, and that it would be better off for those around me if I wasn't here being a burden to everyone, because that's how I saw myself, as a burden. And honestly, it's not because of my family, because they tell me every day things that directly contradict what thoughts I had about myself. It took a while. It took a while for those thoughts they had to penetrate my consciousness. um, that's a little bit about the path that led me here. Just a little bit. And I don't really want to harp on it or go into more of it than that right now. But I'm not just wanting to share art specifically with the great and powerful interwebs. I want to share how art can open you up, and how you think you're not creative, but everyone is. Everyone who is a human being has creativity that they're born with. Creativity manifests in so many different ways. It's not just sitting down and doing traditional art. Creativity is, I think it's a way of thinking. Think it's part of the critical thinking process. Necessity being the mother of invention. That is honestly a pretty relevant quote, I guess. What I'm trying to say is we're all born with the ability to look at something and see that it just needs something, needs a little something. Maybe it's a solution to a problem. Maybe it's an improvement to something that already exists. Maybe it's taking something and turning it into something completely different. Maybe you're a writer. Maybe you create a website. Maybe you do digital design. Maybe you create comic books. It doesn't matter really what the creativity brings about. What matters is to acknowledge that creativity and to allow it to have space in your life, to give yourself time for it, to give yourself a little bit of room to breathe, to just sit down with your thoughts and think critically and expand on what you know. Yeah, creativity is a pretty important process in being a thinking being. Every single person on the planet has created something. Every person that's ever lived has created something. They may not know it. They may not have known it when they did it. We may not even know about it. But you know, somewhere out there made a spoon once. The first spoon ever made was made by a person. It's not like an elephant walked up and said, "Hey, I made this spoon." No, a human person did that. Though if an elephant did tell me that it made a spoon, I'd probably believe it. Because, you know, first of all, it would be talking to me. So, either the elephant is really smart and made a spoon, or I've lost my mind because I think an elephant is talking to me. Either of those things could be true. Both of those things could be true at the same time. I don't even know what I'm talking about, honestly. And I think we're gonna stop here. My hands feel a little bit warmed up. We will come back to this another time. Sometimes I pull it out multiple times throughout the day. I have no idea what this is going to turn out to be, but they're fun to work on. Alright, what do we got here? We are going to continue from where we left off yesterday with this pink dress. It's really the last thing we have to do, and I did what I consider to be the hardest part last night, or yesterday, on camera. I don't know if that looks good or not, but we'll find out. So I took, what was it? RV14 to do this. And we're going to continue through that today. I'm hoping that I get this dress done today. But I never really know how long art is going to take me to finish, so there's that. I'm just looking at the lines a little bit right now to see where I want to bring the light source. And we're going to start back with the same color that we used yesterday, because it was kind of just an outline. We're not going to put the darkest color in there yet. We're starting with the second darkest color. And then RV42 will be after that. RV10 will be after that. And we've got RW0, RV000, and RV quadruple 0. We've also got our colorless splendor. And then the darkest color I think we're saving for last, which is E19. And we'll use that to darken things up afterwards. And colorless splendor. I'm going to attempt to fix that hair. Also, the skin tone, the shadows came out much darker than I realized. I'm not sure if I like it, but I don't know. Yesterday was a little weird when I was doing this. Let's see. I need my little blotty paper. Where did I put it? Is that it? No. I could just grab another paper towel. I know, but the thing is, I just wrote on my iPad. The thing is, I try to use the same piece of paper towel every time. I just wrote all over myself. It's gonna be one of those days. Okay, so I'm gonna come up here and just add a little shadow at the bottom of the bodice, and then I'm kind of gonna fill in around these details. Before I do that though, I want to create some additional folds here. And come up here at the top and just bring this down. And just let it kind of come close to the edge of the dress here. Alright, and this one here, I'm going to bring this, like I said, I'm going to come in between the little area that we outline, and I'm going to make that have shadows and cast shadows, and also it will help us to blend this and put in the highlights So I'm just kind of coming down right next to this fold right here and dabbing a little bit in between. Here. Okay. So here too. And come in to all of these little areas. All right. Working on a dress like this, it's a lot of light source work, and that's something that I have struggled a little bit to learn, and I think it's something I'll always be working on. Excuse me. It's alright. My hair was in my mouth. I feel like I've improved a lot, but it's something that I work on a lot as well. I'm always practicing light source, which is one of the reasons why I will stop so often and stare at something. I'm usually trying to figure out, where's my light source go? I'm going to come in here. And then I'm going to come a little here and right down around that. I feel like I should put something there, but I'm not quite sure yet. I'm just looking at my screen to see the reference photo. This was a class at Kitten Clouder that I've done it several times now, so I'm pretty much doing this without using the class, and that's how you can tell you've actually learned a technique. But I'm still looking at the video for color reference and photo reference. I like to make sure I make this disclaimer. I am not teaching this class. This was not me who made the class. I'm not here to do a tutorial. I'm not a professional. I am here doing the art. That's all I'm doing. I'm just doing art. Sometimes it's a class like this. It has been a lot of classes like this lately. But I'm not here to teach. I'm here to talk while I do art. Come around these. Tracing them out the way I did just makes it a little easier to go around them like this, because I don't have to get close to it while I'm trying to blend and shade. And I just want to come in between these and make sure I'm going to take and pull up a little fold right there. I like to add things here and there of my own. I'm going to thicken this side up a little bit so that it kind of melds in to this cast shadow in the fold. All right. The next one, I'm going to kind of come around right here. I'm going to come pretty much right here and kind of going to move that in a curved shape. And reminder that this class was created as a colored pencils class. So I did it in colored pencil, and then I've come back to this and converted it. I converted the colored pencils to markers, just making sure that the colors match up pretty well. I used a conversion chart that is at Kitten Clouder that she created. It's very helpful. And so I pulled those colors, and also I've swapped some out and added a few of my own. So some of the techniques for coloring with colored pencil, some of them, a lot of them do carry over, but some of them don't. And so some of the techniques I'm having to like figure out, how do I do this with marker? It's not really that hard, but I mean things that aren't that hard can be quite difficult for me. But my point is, this dress was originally done with colored pencil, and so I'm looking at it and I'm like, how do I create this with pencils? Come over here, we're just gonna let that feather a bit. I don't want a hard line here. Alright, and then I'm gonna bring this up also. Okay. My head itches. I'm itchy everywhere today. I don't know why. It's really annoying. Okay, I'm gonna come over here. Now look, in the original, there's supposed to be a little round part of the skirt over here, kind of like there is over there. I don't know what happened to it. I think I accidentally colored it over with the cash out of there. Oh well. We're gonna go here. All right, and then I'm gonna bring this up here too, and then we're gonna bring this down a little bit. And on this side, I'm gonna kind of go around this edge, and I'm gonna create like a little fold in here that isn't, I mean, I'm adding an extra fold, okay? I hope that when I'm finding it difficult to like speak from my mouth, that at least you have the visual down here to, if I can't tell you what I'm doing, maybe I can show you. That's my thought process anyway. Okay. Now I'm gonna come up around here and kind of fill this in a little bit more. I'm using the very tip of my marker and I'm barely touching the page. I'm just making the little area around the sequins a little darker. So something like that. That's not exactly what I wanted to do, but I did it, so we're gonna go with it. One of the reasons that I do my videos live right now is because I have a tendency, as I edit videos, while I'm learning to edit videos, okay? I have a tendency to chop out anything that is a mistake. But that's not really how I want to share my art with the world, you know? I don't want to just share, ooh, I made this awesome thing. I want to show you that, yes, I made an awesome thing, but it's not without mistakes, and that when I make mistakes, I keep going. That's like my biggest thing. I just show up, I do what I do, I keep going. I used to get very upset and frustrated, sometimes even mad, when I would make mistakes with my art. And you would think that I would not be a person to do that, considering I used to fall asleep as a child listening to Bob Ross and watching him paint. It took probably like 30 years for the concept of happy little accidents to really penetrate in my mind, and me to understand what it actually meant, you know? Because to me, it didn't seem like Bob Ross ever made mistakes. He said there were happy little accidents and happy little trees, but I didn't see him making mistakes. Like, what? And maybe I just don't remember it. I don't know. But there have been times where I have literally gotten so upset, I'm almost done with a piece of art, and something goes wrong, and I just rip it up and throw it away. So, you know, that was a habit I had, and I was very, very harsh with myself. So I just kind of want to show people that yes, art can come out beautifully, but it can be a process. It can be almost, it can kind of actually give you self confidence issues to the point where you don't um, even want to do art anymore. And that just, it crippled me for years. And so it's important to me that I don't just show the great parts. Not just the great parts of the art, not just the great parts of my life. I'm willing to be open about just about everything. While I haven't really taken the headfirst plunge into talking about my life, I feel like I will as I get more confident. Or if somebody asks me a question, I will. If somebody asks me a question, I could talk on that question for hours. It doesn't matter what it is. But a lot of times when I'm streaming, I just don't I don't come here with a topic, and maybe I should. Maybe I should show up to my stream with a topic. That's something to think about. Please forgive my voice today. My mouth is super dry. I feel like I sound like a frog. Okay. I'm going to thicken this little fold up right here. Okay. Now I'm going to come up to the top of the dress and lay out our lines for that. I'm going to come around these laces, sort of. I don't know how I want to do the laces on the inside yet. I'm going to come up around here and do our little cast shadows. I not know why my music stopped. That's annoying. All right. So I'm gonna do on this ruffle kind of the same thing I did with the hair bow, a headband, and I'm just gonna create little circles around these little areas, kind of in like a daisy chain. It looks a little weird at first, but I find it an easy way to kind of section off little areas. Same little thing on the bottom of the sleeves. They're really hard to see right now because, you know, I put a little too much skin tone in there. But again, this is one of the things that I like about alcohol markers. I put that color down underneath and I can add color over the top of it because the markers aren't very opaque. And you can really build them up on top of each other. I hear a phone vibrating, and I don't know which one it is, but it's not mine. It's not mine. Okay. I think we changed to the next color now. Everybody agrees. I'll stare directly at the sun, but never. I have to say, even when I wake up in a bad mood, I don't usually stay in it very long. I guess that's a good thing, right? doing art really helps with that too. So our next color is blush pink, or RV14. It was blush pink and pencil. This color, I'm gonna bring it over my little X's here. Just kind of giving the laces a little bit of color. Sometimes you'll see me looking like I'm touching the paper a bunch of times, but I'm not. I have a habit of going closer and closer and closer, and so each time I get closer, I make the motion until I hit the paper. So if it looks like I'm going over something like 7 times, I'm probably not. Okay, I'm gonna come into the skirt, and I'm basically just gonna go through all of these little areas. I don't want to touch any of the sequins. I don't know if at this point you can see what's happening, but I'm going over most of the area in between the little white spots, and then that tones it a little bit, right? And then I bring it out a little bit further. I'm just toning the inner areas a little bit so that it looks pretty nice when it's blended out. If it goes over your dots a little bit, that's okay too. You can always come back at the end. I always come back at the end and do the white part, which I call finishing, where we clean up details and add in some white highlights. I just don't like to do that stuff as I'm working on the main aspects of the piece, because I'm a person who I'm always rubbing my hands while I color, and I feel like putting white pencil or white liquid white over it, it just causes me to smear it and smudge it, so I leave all that till the end. I'm keeping this color really close to the hot pink, the darker pink. I have a tendency to actually not leave myself room for highlights, so I try to be mindful of how much space my next color is actually coming through, how wide it is, how far away from my original color it is. That way I can try to leave highlights. I really hope that you're enjoying hanging out with me today. If you are, hop into the chat and say hello. Don't be shy. I'm here. And I'm nervous too. This is coming out to be a prettier color combination than I had expected. From the center of this, bring that down. Do the same thing up here. forever. I feed the dogs and I put all my pieces back together where they belong. And I say, I'm a mess, I'm a mess, I'm a mess. And I take it in the best time. I can see Trying to find something to watch. Okay. Oops. Sorry about that. All right. On the next color, technically the lightest pink in the designated blend, excuse me, I'm going to try and ensure that I don't bring it all the way back into the darkest pink color so that I don't desaturate that. And the reason I'm doing that, normally I would, but honestly I don't want to have to go back through all that detail again. Being lazy? I don't know. So we've got RV10. I really don't know what I did with my little blob preventer paper towel, so I'll just grab a new one. I like to use the same one over and over again until it's all like covered. That way I can put it aside for my accidental art pile. So I'm trying to bring it over only the last color I just did. It's going to be a little difficult in some areas. It's going to be difficult if I don't pay attention to what I'm doing as well, just saying. You can barely see the little ruffles on the sleeves. I messed that up a little bit, I think. Oh well. So I am going up to like the edge of the dark pink, but not very much over it. Because I do want the edge of the colors to blend, so it doesn't look like a sharp delineation between the colors. But really, I'm trying to keep this RV10 in that peachy color, mostly. Let's connect these two right here. me stop and do some hand stretching. I also wanted to make a note here. We're doing the first layer of color on this dress. The first layer of marker, it's a little different from colored pencils, at least for me. When I look at colored pencil, the first layer of colored pencil, it usually looks pretty good. Like you can see, okay, this is what's going to build up and I'm ready to go. With marker, I have noticed myself that often the first layer of marker color looks super messy. So if you're looking at it right now and you're like, oh, that looks super awful, I get it. I am too. I'm looking at it and I'm like, ooh, this looks super awful. And I'd be trying to fix it right now if I hadn't already learned that, oh, this is just how marker works. Because you're putting down strokes and it's really transparent when you're working with alcohol markers. And that can make it look kind of funky. But trust the process. Over here, I am coming over the edge of the pink, like right here, just to feather that a bit. A time to time, and you might have to Let's connect this up here. That's coming together rather nicely. I'm listening to some older music today. When I say older, I mean like music that was popular when I was a teenager. I'm not going to tell you how long that is, how long ago that was right now, but you can guess by the music if you want to look it up. I wasn't in a hurry, so I slowed down. Drink, don't drive, do watermelon crawl. Do you know what the watermelon crawl is? You drink, don't drive, do the watermelon crawl. She dipped down, spun around, oh, see the door. Almost down here. But obey the law. If you drink, don't drive. Do the watermelon crawl. This song should come back into popularity, I feel. It's just a fun song with a good message. Do people still drink and drive in today's society? I feel like that's a crazy thing to do. Like, why? I want a lot of this pink right here on the side here. So I'm bringing that out pretty far and trying to leave a little thin line of white there. All right. That's pretty good. Are you ready to do the second layer? Okay. Before I do that, I'm going to take RV quadruple 0. And I'm going to do some blending here. Just to get the colors to soften up a bit. And I'm going to come a lot over the sleeves. On the sleeves, I want the lightest color to be everywhere because they are transparent, but you want to see the color too, right? And I'm not coming over the actual arm in there. I'm just coming over the outside of it. I want to wet that down pretty good and soften it. Ow, I breathed the wrong way. Okay, same thing over here on this sleeve. Added quite a bit there to really soften it, and then I'm going to come along the top ruffle here and do the same thing. If you lose any details, don't worry, you can always come back and add it back in. I'm going to come along the edge of the bodice here, and I'm going to come in like a little circle on this little line right here. Same thing on this side. I don't want to lose my highlight. I just want to feather that. And then I'm going to come pretty heavy in between on the laces. Now I'm going to bring this along the edges of all of this. Mostly through the white. Which sounds like, oh, you're getting rid of your highlights now. I'm not. This is so light that it really doesn't add a lot of color to the area. It tints it a little bit, yes, but mostly it's just a way to blend your colors. I don't know. I like doing it this way. I do use the colorless blender quite a lot, but I feel like these really light colors just really help with everything coming out pretty smooth. I'm definitely not bringing this back over the pink edges, the darkest pink. And I really am trying to keep this really in the areas where there's white. I see something free. I'm superwoman, I'm strong, and I look at this 'cause I've had it all along. You tell me how to be. So I'm keeping this inside the line of the dress because I don't want to go over the blues and greens right there. They'll fade into the dress, and I don't want that. Okay, so I'm looking at it, and I'm seeing that the insides of the darkest pink in here look pretty sharp and messy. RV quadruple 0, and I'm just going to come through and lay down a white dab. I'm not going in any particular direction. I just want to soften the lines. I've never tried this before, so if it goes completely wrong, sing out loud. You're broken and it's beautiful. I'm broken and it's beautiful. All right. Let me clear my eyes. Yeah, I think that helped. So I'm going to do that on each of them. It just softens it up a little bit, and I think I like it. All right, and then I'm just going to come and swipe like this through that top part of the skirt. Okay. So, the question that I'm faced with at this point is, do I do another layer and then add in the darkest color? Or do I add in the darkest color and then do the next layer? I'm really not sure. While I'm thinking about this though, I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab E⁻⁻⁻, and I'm going to come in pretty strongly in some of these like darker areas of her skin. I'm using the chisel tip because I want to put down quite a bit of this color and kind of just fade out this darkness a little bit. Along the dark area of the arm too. Through the arm. I think that looks a little better. Okay. What I'm going to do, some of this is making it up on the fly, yeah? What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the dress for a bit, and I'm going to work a little bit on this hair situation. I'm going to start by wetting it all down. I don't know. I'm not sure at this point. Actually, I think I'm just gonna do pencil here. Let me grab a pencil. I want burnt ochre. Okay. I grabbed burnt ochre, jasmine, yellow ochre, and cream. We're going to use these pencils to clean up the hair. Cover your ears. Okay. I think I need to empty my pencil sharpener. So I'm just going to come in where the darkest color is and just add some strokes around. I'm even going to come on the front of the face with this because it's just kind of fuzzy. Okay. I'm just going to straighten these lines up a little bit. And then at the end of these flicks, I'm going to make the flicks look a little better. I want to take a picture of this real quick, y'all. I haven't been taking pictures of my art to post on Instagram, so I've really been neglecting the Insta. That's before. So I made this playlist that I'm listening to right now a long time back, and I haven't listened to it in a while. I made it for a friend who was going through some stuff at the time, and for a variety of reasons, we don't talk anymore. So I hadn't listened to it in a while. But basically the theme of the playlist was, hey, it's gonna be okay. I might not even need to use the other colors that I pulled out of the pencils. I just noticed that it's 10:40, and I figured I could finish this up and come back after lunch to do the next layer of the dress. Does that sound good? I thought so. This pencil is absolutely not sharp enough. I need a container of some sort. There we go. I don't throw my pencil shavings in the trash. Weird, I know. I have an entire like clear candy jar just full of pencil shavings because I think they're pretty. But it's in my room. Of course, they don't come out nice and curly and pretty when I let my pencil sharpener get this full. But at the bottom of the little candy jar, there's a bunch of colored shavings that drift to the bottom, which I like. Give me a second here. I made a mess. Oh my goodness. I made a big mess. Okay. I'll take that to my room later. This is my favorite pencil sharpener. I have 2 of them. And you can buy replacement blades for them. It comes with one. It comes with several replacement blades, but you can buy extras. And I love this pencil sharpener. See, pencil, not that sharp, right? Pretty sharp. Can you see how that looks better? This is why I don't worry about if my marker strokes go crazy. Because I know I can come back with pencil afterwards. It's one of the reasons. Is it, would you consider it cheating if I convert it, since, okay, I converted this class from pencils to markers and did it in markers, and then now I'm coming back over it with pencil. Is that cheating? I don't think so. What do you think? I don't know. Some of these areas I'm coming through and adding a few strokes because I can get much finer lines with my pencil today anyway. So I'm just adding in a few little strokes here and there to break the hair up a little bit more. This is making it look quite a lot darker than it originally looked as well, but I don't mind that. I probably am going to come back with the other colors of pencils. And we're not going to do like a heavy layer, but I really think that I can make this look a lot better. have to press a... I think I can make it till lunch. Sharpen again. Okay, I kind of love that. I think I'm going to come back through with just cream, the lightest color. Now, I should make the point that once you've done this with pencil, you really don't want to come back over it with your markers, because likely what will happen is that you will get pencil on your marker tip, and that's not good for your markers. So I'm just using cream. I'm coming right into the highlight areas. I'm not going over the burnt ochre. I'm coming in between the strokes of burnt ochre, if that makes sense. It helps if your pencil's really sharp when you do this. It also helps if you are really light-handed with it, because you don't want your pencil to drag and bump through it. You want it to kind of be smooth and light. Now, usually with marker, if you're going to use a fixative, you don't really need to with marker. However, when I come back over any part of it with a wax medium, or even just with liquid white, I do spray them with a fixative. I like to use a matte fixative so that whatever's shiny on your paper, on your page, it stays shiny and the rest is not shiny. I don't know. Shiny things that aren't glitter bother me. And there, with just two little colors and a little bit of detail work, we've cleaned that up really well. What do you think? One of these days I'll be able to zoom in without picking the paper up like this. I think that looks a whole lot better. Let me take a quick picture of it so I don't forget. We just want to take a picture of the hair, that's all. Focus, please. I'll be honest, it's very difficult to take a photo when you can't hold your phone still. So I'm going to prop my hand right here up against the desk. There we go. Okay. So, we've cleaned up the hair. We've done the first layer on the dress. And it's now lunchtime. So, I think I'm going to come back with pencils over the skin tone as well. And when we come back from lunch, we will add the dark color in to the dress and then do the second layer and finish blending it. And after that, everything will be touch-ups and details. So, yeah. I'm liking how this comes out. Do you like how it's coming out? Let me know. Let me know in the comments, or just say hi, or if you're loving something in particular, let me know, or if you hate something in particular, let me know. Doesn't mean I'll stop doing it, but I might. Yeah. So that's our AM art session, and yep. Yeah. This has been Periwinkle Palace Arts. Princess Bun Bun with all of my bun buns. We did art here today, and we'll do some more art when we come back this afternoon. Thanks for hanging out. What?